like to introduce about. So hope the session is recording, Matish.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So yes. So very good evening, everybody. My name is Sai. I'm a cybersecurity consultant, having 12 plus years of experience in various cybersecurity domains, and I hold many reputed cybersecurity certifications. I'm a certified ethical hacker. I'm a certified information security system professional, etc., etc. Also, I do hold many vendor-based certificates. So also, I'm currently doing my master's in field of cybersecurity along with Bits Pilani. This is my first sem with Bits Pilani. So I could able to see a couple of people here. So would you please go ahead and introduce about yourself in few lines? What's your name? What do you do? Where are you from? What's your expectations with respect to this course? And before someone talk, let's everybody keep this particular session with some etiquette. So make sure that at least from tomorrow try to join on time, and try to turn off your camera if it is not required. uh, you know don't unmute yourself if it is not required. Also, don't try to post unnecessary stuff in the chat. Also, try to make sure that when you're talking, you make sure that you're in a proper place to attend this meeting. So that being said, I'm requesting others, maybe on my screen I could able to see Ankita. Can you please go ahead and introduce about yourself, your name, your place, and your expectations? uh,
Hi, myself Ankita.
hey, hi Ankita. So
Yeah.
where are you
Uh,
from? What do
I'm
you
from
do?
West Bengal, Asansol, and I'm just pursuing LLM, Masters in Law.
Great, great, great. Okay. So, what made you to, to learn in cybersecurity? What's your expectation with respect to
Actually,
this
I
course?
wanted to learn about cybersecurity because this is a vast field, and I just hope to get a good exposure in it. So that's why basically I'm interested in learning about all that data security courses, incident response, due to that.
That's great. Do you have any, what's your background? Um,
I
um,
did my BLLB, like graduation in law.
Graduation in law. Okay. So are you working or you're seeking a job now?
No, I'm not working right now.
Okay. Thank you so much, Shraddha.
Yeah.
Uh, next we have Ayush. Can you please introduce you an intro about yourself?
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening, Ayush.
Myself Ayush Dumri. I am from Dehradun.
Okay. So what do you do? What's your expectations? So what made you
Sir,
to?
yes, sir. Sir, basically, sir, I have completed BSc, PCM and MSc in physics, and right now I'm in MCA last semester right now.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Next we have Anshu Kumar Raj. Uh, Mr. Anshu, can you please introduce about yourself?
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Very good evening. Your name, your place, and your background.
My name is Ansu Kumar. I am from the Bihar. I am BCA student, first year, the CGC College, Chandigarh.
Great, great, Anshu. Next we have Varun. Can you please go ahead? Mr. Varun, can you hear us?
Good evening, sir.
Go ahead. Yes, we can hear you. Can you please give an intro about yourself? Next, it looks like he got disconnected. What about you, Mr. Santosh? Can you please go ahead and intro about yourself? Okay, looks like he's traveling. And yes, go ahead. Someone is talking. Go ahead. Uh, yes, Miss Bhavana. So can you give me a intro about yourself, your profile?
She is also part of UpShik only, sir.
Okay, okay. So what about you, Mr. Amit? Amit, can you please, give an introduction about yourself?
Hello, hello,
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
hello.
Yes, we can
सर
hear you.
हम क्या
Yeah, Amit, go ahead.
हम बोलना चाहते हैं ना सर कि हमें थोड़ा इंग्लिश का मुझे और है सर हिंदी में आप क्या बात कर सकते हैं
आप बात कर लीजिए भाई, नो प्रॉब्लम। शुरू कर लीजिए आपने। नो प्रॉब्लम।
सर
आपका आपका नाम क्या है, आपका बैकग्राउंड क्या है, आपका इंटरेस्ट क्या है साइबर सिक्योरिटी में?
हाँ,
क्या लेके आया था आपको
सर
इधर?
मेरा नाम तो अमित है सर पर हम मोबाइल रिपेयरिंग करते हैं अभी अभी के समय पे
ओके,
हाँ तो हमने सोचा कि साइबर सिक्योरिटी में थोड़ा इंटरेस्ट मेरा था पहले से ही तो हम सोचा कि सीख लेते हैं थोड़ा काम देगा
फाइन फाइन अमित। सो दिस कोर्स, ये कोर्स इंग्लिश में चलेगा। सो वो टिक है ना आपको?
इंग्लिश में सर तो इंग्लिश में समझ नहीं आएगा सर
Okay, maybe Motish, you can talk to him later.
Sure, sir.
Thank you so much, everybody, for your brief introduction. I really appreciate your time. So as I mentioned you here, let's follow some etiquette. So try to turn off your video if it is not required, and be mindful when you're talking. I'll be asking you a couple of questions. Please don't turn on the mic. And yes, so how many of you, had a chance to look into the recordings being shared by UpShik Academy? So, does everybody looked into the demo? Uh, Ayush, Amit, anybody? Can you please confirm? Ankita? Hello. So can someone please confirm that, hope you have looked into the demo being shared by UpShik Academy, right? So are you, hope everybody went through it? Uh,
Yeah, hope so, I think.
okay. So,
Yeah.
people are very silent. So,
Yeah.
so let me tell you something. So we are all been here, for learning a certain skill, right? So we might be working, we may not be working. The only reason that we were being, attending this particular class is to learn something. So if you people won't talk, this would be a useless course. It's like, the trainer would be sharing his own expertise, and he might be, going from one day to another day. But if you don't answer back, this may not be useful for you. This would be like a, regular academics for you, again wasting couple of bucks from your pocket. So please try to, be interactive and try to answer me back. Okay, so can I expect an answer from Ankita? Ankita, Varun. So you people get a chance to look into the demo.
yes sir
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. So you people already went through the domain. Okay. So what I'll do today, I'll be setting up the expectations. So since you people already went through my demo classes, which has covered almost all 3 hours of time, right? So I'm not going to waste much of your time, but I'm going to give a quick walk around. And there are certain requirements for this particular course. Assume that this is not a regular theoretical class, so we'll be talking about that. So hope many of you are being from join from laptop, right? Like the basic requirement for this particular course is to have a laptop. So how many of you have? Just raise your hand. That's fine. There's something. There's an option to raise your hand. Just spit it out. Okay, just put a reaction at least. You can see something. You can raise your hand or you can put some thumbs up. So hope many of you have laptop, right? So without laptop, you cannot, it would be really difficult for you folks. Thank you so much, Ankita. I could able to see some response from your end. So hope others do have a laptop, and if you don't have the laptop, yes, it would be really difficult. At least try to have a laptop at least from the next week. Thank you so much. So yes, so I hope that you have went through my demos. So we have talked deeply about cybersecurity. I have talked about the types of attacks, right, and how the enterprise security has been formed, and how can you shape up your career in cybersecurity. That the different types of domains that actually exist in cybersecurity, right? And how can you make sure that you can get a job in cybersecurity? And what are all the resources, right? So this particular slide has been portrayed about the deep fake attacks. We talked about actually cybersecurity in the demo. We tried to understand the threat, vulnerability, and risk, right? And many of you could have received the phishing and wishing calls. Not sure whether you actually know the name of those attacks that has happened on you. It's phishing, wishing, and sometimes it is smishing, right? How bank account attacks, cyber attacks used to happen, trying to impersonate like a banker and trying to steal your money, right? And the type of techniques that they actually use. And on top of that, how you can able to recognize the type of attack happened on you, and how what kind of malware that the attackers will be using on it. So we'll be deep diving it in the upcoming classes. And this particular slide talks about the different cybersecurity domains exist today, and what our course going to cover in the respect to cybersecurity domains. Okay, hope you're all clear, right? At least a thumbs up. Thank you so much, Varun. Okay, so I am not going to waste much of the time, as I said you earlier. So basically, the cyber security has been, broadly been, divided as offensive security and defensive security. So in offensive security, you could able to see something called as a penetration testing. They do the social engineering. They, exploit development. It's, where you're going to develop the payload, the malware that can compromise others computer, or the that can able to hack any computer, right? So application security testing, it's like finding out the bugs. So assume that it can be done in two ways: a SAST and that security, static assessment and dynamic assessment. So in application security, the primary job would be like finding out the bugs. So how many of you have seen that Paytm is running with certain bugs, or Cisco is running with certain bugs, and recently there is an AWS outage, right? So that could have been happened by maintenance, or there might be a bug. Okay, so red teaming. So red teaming is one of the most sophisticated job that currently exist. And system hardening. So system hardening is you make sure that your system has been aligned with all the compliance requirements, especially with the CIS benchmarks. And with respect to defense security, you have something called as implementing the security devices like firewall, intrusion detection techniques, encryption. How you are going to encrypt the confidential data, or most valuable data in the organization assets, and how you are going to put the antivirus, anti malware, not getting hacking your computer, you know, from different malware, be it might be spyware, be it might be ransomware, or any kind of malware, right? So you make sure your computer being protected by installing an antivirus. So in the same manner, the antivirus will be called as endpoint security in the field of enterprise. And access controls, like who should get access, what kind of access, that can be tailored. And also data loss prevention. Assume that your device is having some confidential information. Assume if the user has transferred it to a different cloud, or it's been sent to an email, so you're going to get an evidence by making use of data loss prevention products. So now these are all the different kind of domains that exist in cybersecurity. But what we were actually focusing today in our course. So in our course, we'll be predominantly focusing upon incident response. So so someone already mentioned, right? Ankita has already mentioned. So what do you mean by incident response, Ankita? Would you like to try?
I think it's related to like responding to PHI and PH like kind of information. So as much as I like know.
No problem. You did a great job. Okay, but yes, let me rephrase your statement. So
Yeah, sure.
assume that you have a computer. Assume that by mistakenly assume you have a company owned device. Okay, now assume that you received an email saying that you won a voucher in Amazon, and you have accidentally clicked on it. So when you clicked on that particular Amazon link,
Hmm.
that particular link could have downloaded some malicious software in your computer, and that particular malicious software could have been installed by you mistakenly. And by installing that particular software, the entire data in your computer has been encrypted. So this is typically a ransomware attack. Now, what the security team does, the security team will get into action immediately, making sure what is the root cause for your particular attack. They will investigate you, they will try to collect all the evidence, they will make sure how this particular attack has been happened. Is that the security bypass happened, does the user has been tricked in such a manner, etc., etc. Okay, so I'll be talking much about incident response. And also we'll be focusing upon the network security. Also we'll try to understand about vulnerability management, and also about threat intelligence, right? So as I already mentioned, so these are all the broad cybersecurity domains that actually exist today, and these are all the job titles that it actually have. So now I know that all these domains has been explained very clearly in our demo sessions. Maybe you can refer it, but for our convenience, so this particular course broadly focuses upon security operations. Okay, so how many of you are aware of about CERT in? So how many of you are aware about computer emergency response team in India? Ankita, Varun, have you ever heard about this?
No, sir.
Okay. So computer, what about you, Ankita? Have you ever heard
No,
about
sir,
this?
not heard.
Okay. So now CERT in, so they were been, working under Indian government. Okay. So what did they actually do? Okay. So they have something like this. They have a very big office, just like a normal security operations center. Okay, it's called as a SOC team. Okay, so what these folks actually does, if you could look into this particular image, whatever the cyber attacks that happened upon the Indian infrastructure, assume that be it any website, or assume that it might be um, any kind of government owned infrastructure, or any kind of laptops, any kind of applications. Assume that Paytm is one of the Indian manufacturer, right? So Paytm or any kind of applications being owned by India. Okay. Now assume that. So recently we had a conflict with with our neighbor, right? So the respective adversary or the respective country has attacked on us on cyber domain too. Okay, so they did the cyber attacks trying to compromise our government websites, right? So what CERT team does, the Indian government will have a team like this. They will be monitoring all the attacks. Okay, whatever the attack that happens on Indian infrastructure or any Indian territory, it will be monitored by CERT in Computer Emergency Response Team in India. Okay, and they will take a necessary action with respect to the cyber security attack. Now when it comes to any company, okay, so what I'm actually been calling out as a company, so companies like TCS, CTS, any company in India, right? Assume that how many of you having your insurance policies with Policy Bazaar or any kind of service that you actually use, right? So any kind of company who have computing devices. So now, can someone tell me, does any company doesn't have computing devices in their infrastructure? No, right? Every company, right? They use computing devices, be it the laptop or some kind of server, some kind of applications, right? We all use computing devices, and all these computing devices are vulnerable for getting hacked. Okay, and now that's the reason every company what they'll do, they will have a SOC team, Security Operations Center team in cybersecurity. Okay, so the typical cyber security team would be like this. So answering you, Ankita, so the typical incident response would be happening like this. They will be having a giant dashboards where all the attacks will be monitored time to time. And assume that tomorrow if you are going to be a SOC analyst or if you are going to be a security analyst, you will be taking care of these alerts, you will be investigating upon them, right? I hope you're clear now. Are you clear, Ankita? Can I go ahead? So hope now you understand what actually incident response or SOC team actually does, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now in the in the security operation, the exact nomenclature or the respective team name is Security Operations Center. So in certain companies they'll call it as incident response team. In certain companies they will call it as SOC team. So who doesn't? Does anyone would like to talk? Someone unmuted. Sai Vishnu. Uh, can you please mute yourself? If you okay, thank you so much. So in SOC team, typically, the respective cybersecurity engineer will be called as a SOC analyst or incident responder, or also being called as a cybersecurity forensic analyst. Okay, so assume if there is a alert being taken care by an L1, L2, so predominantly they will be called as a SOC analyst or incident responders who are initially responding to that particular alert. Now assume that if that particular attack has been confirmed, and assume if there is more technical investigation is needed, then someone like the cybersecurity forensic analyst will comes into picture. Okay, so typically he'll be like a L3, L4 guy or some kind of more experienced guy in the SOC team. Okay, now what kind of technologies that they use? Okay, they use technologies like SIM. Okay, So SIM is nothing but security information and event management tool. Okay. So the most popular SIM tools are Splunk, IBM, Curator, and Waju. So in our class or in our course, we'll be having a hands-on experience upon a SIM tool called as Waju. Okay, and they also use certain platforms where all the security alerts will be automated, called as a SOAR, and there is something called as endpoint detection and response, typically installed with a sensor like a CrowdStrike, Sentinel-1, etc., etc. So this particular course will be focusing much upon investigating the particular attack, okay, called as SIM, and also upon the EDR. Also, we'll be trying to understand the basics of network security. So we'll try to capture a particular message. Assume that there are two persons talking. So we'll be capturing what they actually do, and we'll try to analyze the conversation. Okay, so if the data is in plain text, we could able to find out the sensory information. So if you people are clear, can you please confirm any doubts upon this? Is I'm talking very slow, or is I'm talking very fast? Or if you could able to understand me better, please do let me know. Everybody, Ankita, Varun, would you like to? Are you clear? Do you have any doubts? Uh,
No doubt, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. And I could see that a couple of new folks been joined. I could see Sai, Vishnu, Lakshman. There are few people joined, post starting this session, right? So would you like to give a quick introduction about yourself? Mr. Sai Vishnu, could you able to hear us?
Yes, sir.
Can you give a intro about yourself, your background, and the place you're, from?
My name is Aish Nordhan. I'm from Electronics and Communication. Things.
Okay,
Thank.
are you a student, or are you currently working?
No, sir. I'm a student, sir.
Okay, thank you. So, so since you're from electronics background, so what made you to get into cybersecurity?
Right now, cybersecurity is most demanded. What we call most demanded software.
Okay, I got it. Thank you so much. So we have Mr. Cami. Would you like to give a quick intro about yourself?
Yes, hello. Sir, my name is Namidim Kamai. I'm currently pursuing my graduation. And I just want to start my career in cybersecurity because it is one of the most demanded jobs in the market.
Okay, thank you. What about you, Lakshman and Subhadra? Can you please give a intro? Are you a student or working professional, and what's your background? Mr. Lakshman, can you give a intro about yourself? Okay. What about you, Subhadra? Roy, can you please give an intro about yourself? Okay, fine. So, see, again, I'm re-emphasizing. See, you need to be very interactive. See, unless you talk to me, you're not going to understand what we are going to discuss in this particular course. And this particular course is purely a hands-on training. So assume, if you're not talking and if you're not unmuting yourself, it would be a big loss for you. Okay. So you make sure that you try to interact and, you try to respond to what we are discussing in the class. Thank you so much. And yes. So does anyone have questions on, what actually cyber security operations is all about, and um, the agenda of this particular team? Any doubts? Okay. Also talking about the other security domains, these are all the other security domains, and we'll be focusing much on security operations. So this is purely like an investigation for Majum. If someone is attacking on our infrastructure or on our company servers, how we are going to tackle it out. Okay. So that's the thing. And so does anyone did a basic investigation about these SIM tools? So the UpShik Academy could have shared the browsers and all, right? And you people could have already had some demo available on YouTube, and that has been shared by Motish and our UpShik team. So now my question is, so did anyone did a basic investigation about SIM tool, or the SOC team or the information security engineer? What about you, Ankita? Do you have idea about SIM tools, SIM, EDIA? Anyone would like to
No, no
talk?
idea, sir.
Okay. Okay. So just giving a heads up upon this. Just maybe do a basic search about yourself. So couple of people who have joined just now, right? Like in cyber security there are different domains, and this is what we discussed earlier, that it's been broadly defined in two verticals. Okay. We will be focusing much in defensive security. This particular course has been aligned in defensive security, and these are all the cyber security domains available. Okay. Cyber security is vast. Okay. You cannot be a expert in every domain. So now this particular course will be focusing upon security operations, where we'll be predominantly focusing upon SIM and EDR. Okay. And now that being said, so now this particular course we'll be covering it up in 5 weeks. So the initial 1 week. So since the reason why I asked about your background is to make sure that you actually have at least some kind of technical understanding, right? So those are all the basic requirements for this particular course. Okay. So I'll be making sure that you all know what cybersecurity is. So I'll be talking very deep about the cybersecurity basics. We'll make sure you know about cybersecurity basics on week 1. And you may not require to be an expert in networking. I know that couple of people who join might be thinking that this might be a typical networking course. No. So we'll be talking, or we'll be discussing about the basics of networking. So unless you know the networking, you don't know the network security, right? So unless you don't know what actually a network is, you cannot go and secure something, right? So we'll be touching up the basics of networking, and then the main thing, the SIM tool. So with respect to the SOC team, Security Operations Center, they will be using certain forensic tools or investigation tools. So SIM is one of the most popular demanded skill that is currently required in the industry right now. Okay. And how we are going to install. So that is the reason I requested all of you folks to have a laptop, right? And I'll be giving certain homework for you, so that you come up with the respective software, so that we can set up a lab. Okay. So this particular SIM we are going to install on your computer. and we'll be configuring the respective tools in your device. We'll be preparing a lab in your laptop, and we'll be doing the incident response. So that means, so we are going to prepare couple of VMs. Assume that a attacker VM and then a defense VM, victim and attacker VMs. The attacker will be attacking the victim, right? So now when he's actually attacking, how the SIM logs will actually capture, and how as a cyber security analyst, you're going to investigate this. Okay, so this is what actually required in the industry at this point of time. And endpoint security, so endpoint detection and response, so this is one of the most top skill that is required. So CrowdStrike is one of the famous tool in the industry, right? So does anyone already aware about CrowdStrike? Anyone in the call? A major outage has been happened recently, right? Like the entire globe has been stalled for a couple of hours, right? None of the airports were able to operate. So many of the companies got impacted with CrowdStrike outage. It's a channel file outage that is one of the most predominant outage that has been happened, in a decade. Okay, so we'll be installing the SIM, we'll be installing the CrowdStrike, we are going to perform attack. Okay, we are going to understand how, as a cybersecurity analyst, you are going to analyze these particular attacks. Okay, and how you are going to give a solution for this. Okay, also in networking we'll be talking about network packet capturing. We'll be doing a lab on that. And in the week 5, I will be initially in the second, third and fourth weeks, we will be setting up the laboratory. And in the 5th week, I'll be giving you the task so that you need to perform it right away, so that you will get a real time experience. So hope, is this been clear? Does anyone have doubts? Yes, Mr. Money. Yes. Do you have any doubt? Okay. So I'll take that as S. And yes, so as I said to you earlier, so by completing this course, you will be having an hands-on experience on SIEM, EDR, endpoint detection and response, network analyzer tools, and Microsoft sys internal tools. Okay, so now I'm re-emphasizing again and again about these tools, right? So now let's see how actually market is looking for these skills. Okay, just go to Naukri. Okay, just search with the key term SIM. Okay, you could able to see couple of roles here. So this is what we are just now we have talked about this, right? SOC, SIM, SOAR, EDR. So these are all the technical terms that we have discussed till now, right? So now let's see what actually it need. Okay. So as I mentioned here, maybe you can correlate with this particular vertical. So threat intelligence, vulnerability management, etc., etc. So if you could see, so this particular job from IBM, right now they're actually looking for a security consultant role. So here they're actually looking for an SIM experience, and someone who is very good in incident response, and having experience in threat intelligence and how the attacking pattern works, right? So can you see this particular line? Ability to triage, investigate, and escalate security incidents based upon the severity and impact. Right? So this is what we are going to cover in our course, and this would be really interesting. Okay. Any doubts from anyone? So as you people have mentioned already, this is one of the most demanding skill right now. Okay. So I am someone who started my career as a SOC analyst. I am someone who is experienced in SIM for almost all 10 years. So I do adversary simulation. So adversary simulation is something where I'll be acting as a hacker. I'll be attacking my company infrastructure, and I'll make sure that the attacker could not able to penetrate into the company's equipment. Okay. So irrespective of what I'm trying to say in this particular class, just go to Naukri, just put the words SIM, SOC, right? So you can able to figure it out. And what we are going to cover in this particular course. So this is how the course has been designed. So please let me know if there is any issue with the font. Should I zoom or is this fine? Okay, let me zoom. So in the as you could have this particular course has been carefully been shaped up in such a manner that it actually adheres with the industry requirements. Okay. So now in the first week, we'll be talking about the basics of cybersecurity, what kind of attacks exist, and how you are going to understand them, what kind of frameworks exist in the cybersecurity, and the type of case studies. And in day 3, I don't think that we may require this again, but still we'll be deep diving about the security domains. Okay. And then on day 4 we'll be setting up the lab environment. So we'll be installing the virtual box, we'll be setting up the attacker and victim mission so that you can able to do the hands-on. And we'll try to perform a basic reconnaissance. So reconnaissance is something where you're going to grab data or you're going to get the victim data, and we'll try to understand what security controls is all about, and you will be having a quick brief, and I'll be assigning some task with respect to the discussed topics on that particular week. Okay. So hope any doubt in the week 1. I'll pause for a minute. If you have any doubts, please let me know. Uh, Feel free to ask questions, because if you miss, there might be a chance that you may feel okay. Thank you so much, Varun. So please do respond, because I may feel like going too fast or too slow. So your response makes it better. And in the week 2, we'll be touch basing about the networking fundamentals, different types of tools. We are not going to deep dive about the implementation of firewalls and all, but we'll try to understand what type of network security tools do exist, and how they actually protect the company's infrastructure. And this is one of the exciting part. So we'll try to do a packet analysis by using a Wireshark. So for your information, Wireshark is one of the most popular tool being used in the networking industry. So having a experience in packet capture analysis will absolutely grab you an opportunity when you try for an interview. And also we'll try to do basic analysis on day 10, and then we'll try to perform certain sophisticated attacks like ARP spoofing, DNS spoofing, etc. Okay. And we'll also try to find out some anomalies, and we'll try to do certain DOS attacks using on also We'll try to perform a man in the middle attack and how we are going to analyze these logs. And in the next day will be, as usual, we'll be reviewing everything. So upon your approval, I'll be going for the next class. Okay. So if someone has any doubts, we'll be, stopping over there and we'll be clearing it out. Okay. So in the third week, so we'll be, working upon a tool called as SIM. Okay. So I'll be guiding you to set up a lab to install the Wazoo. Okay, the SIM which we are going to use in this particular lab is Wazoo. Okay, so I'll be helping you out how to install the Wazoo. Okay, so just go to, maybe, for your reference, just go to the Naukri and just put like, okay, can you see this? SIM administrator, SIM engineer. Okay, so Splunk and Wazoo looks very similar. So companies like Deloitte, etc., they do have, excellent opportunities with them. So all this, most of this will be covered in our course. And I already set up an lab environment. Okay, the lab environment is ready, and I will also helping you out to, to put up a SIM, to install SIM in your own laptop. Okay, make necessary connections, and also, I'll be walking you through the architecture of Wazoo, installing it an attacker mission and victim mission, and how we are going to collect the logs in SIM, and how we are going to analyze it and put some rules in, a technology called as file integrity monitoring, etc., etc. So, any doubts in SIM? Please do talk. If you won't talk, this would be like, like your regular academics. So please do make sure that, if you have any doubts, please do let me know. Santosh, Sai, Vishnu, Amit, Ankita, any doubts? No. Okay. Thank you, Sai. Okay. And in week 4, we'll be, deep diving about incident response and endpoint security. So since we have already installed this particular tool, so it's like, from architect perspective, we are going to look into the S-time installation and all. In the 4th week, we'll, do the attack and we'll try to perform the analysis that typically get covered in the incident response. And there's a tool called as CrowdStrike. So CrowdStrike is one of the most reputed and most costliest tool right now in the industry. Okay, so I'll be guiding you out, how to set up the account, how to install the sensor in your computer, and how we are going to, execute a malware. Okay, and how to observe the detections, and how we are going to analyze it. Okay, so we are going to do that. Also, we'll, try to put up the policies, and also we'll try to look a little bit about threat hunting, because threat hunting is totally a different broad scope, but we'll try to, sneak in something. And also, these are all the projects that I'm going to assign you in the upcoming weeks, so that, you'll make sure that you get hands-on experience. This is purely not a theoretical class. This is purely a hands-on course where you are going to play with cybersecurity tools, and so that, you make sure that you are industry ready. Okay, so any doubts? uh, any doubts, please let me know. Ankita, Varun, Santosh, Cami. So any doubts? Does your expectations been met in the curriculum? Okay, fine. So I guess. Okay, so GDPR tool. So Santosh. Okay, okay. Very good, very good, very good. I really appreciate. So now, let me clarify you something, Santosh. Can you please unmute yourself and ask me your question? Because for your information, GDPR is not a tool. HIPAA is not a tool. General Data Protection Regulation. It's like a law. Okay. HIPAA is also a law. Okay. Can you please unmute, Santosh? Uh, Not sure. Can't you able to unmute yourself and talk? Okay. So for your information, first of all, it's a very good question. See, HIPAA is not a tool. It's like an act. It's like a what I can say. It's like a law. Assume that. Um, so what is the Indian Penal Code has been recently been renamed? And anyone would like to take this? It's a general question. It's a general question. So our IPC has been recently renamed as a BNS, Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, right? So in the same manner, in US, HIPAA is one of the major law that every service company should adhere. Okay. And now, if any company would like to adhere for HIPAA, they need certain kind of cyber security tools. Okay. And now coming back, they need tools like SIM. They need tool like EDR to protect. Okay. Just I'll just put here HIPAA cyber security control tools. Okay. So are you into any health based company, Santosh? Okay. So, companies who are actually taking care of health information, right? Especially for US. Okay. So they need to adhere for this. Okay. So how many of you use phone pay? Maybe, if you open phone pay, you could see something called as a PCI. In the same manner, payment card industry is the acronym for PCI. So assume if any company, any bank who is actually, storing our credit card information or banking information, they need to adhere for PCI. And now, in order to implement HIPAA or in order to implement PCI, you need all these 7 domains. You got it right? So assume that if any company needs to be adhered for HIPAA, then they need all these tools to be implemented in their company so that they'll provide cyber security. Okay. So as such, SIM is one of the tool. Okay. EDR is one of the technology that they actually use to enforce the requirements of HIPAA. Okay. And also coming back to GDPR. So GDPR stands for General Data Protection Regulation. Okay, this is purely for EU companies, European Union companies. So just like soon India will also be coming up with a act called as a DPDP Act. Okay, Data Protection Act it is. So assume that if someone is misusing your data or misusing your personal information like your email address, your phone number, your Aadhaar card, your PAN number, etc., etc. So you will be in such a position, or the government will be scrutinizing them in such a manner that your details are not going to be misused. Okay. In the same manner, GDPR is one of the most strict regulation that has been implemented by European Union countries. And in order to implement the GDPR, yes, you need all these tools needs to be implemented. Okay, does that answers your question, Santosh? Hello. Uh, it, does that answers your question, Santosh? Okay, thank you so much. So yes, so that's the brief introduction about day one class. So I'll be open for questions. So looking at the curriculum and with respect to the scope of this particular course, so I'll be happy to answer your questions, and we'll be starting the class from tomorrow. It would be module 1 from tomorrow. So do you have any doubts? So any doubts about all the conversation till we had? Or at least put your okay. That's what Mr. Santosh, that's what I'm trying to say. GDPR and HIPAA is not a tool, it's a regulation. Okay. So SIM and EDR is one of the security control that will be used to enforce GDPR or HIPAA. So answering to your question, if you are looking from the security control perspective, yes, you will be learning about the technologies used for GDPR. Maybe if you can unmute and if you could put your I didn't get your question here. EDR means complaints data. What about that particular sentence? It doesn't make sense. So EDR is the endpoint detection and response. Assume that your computer or the respective, healthcare device that has been used for data processing, right, or for the payment card industry data. Assume you need to install a software called as endpoint security tool called as CrowdStrike. Example is CrowdStrike. Okay, so you will be installing the CrowdStrike agent to protect that particular computer. And assume if there is any malware events, etc., being noticed, then we'll be performing a detection and response on that particular device. Hope you that answers your question. Is this? I could see two Santosh. Is this the same person? Okay. Hi, is this a customized course in cybersecurity? If I complete, which certification would you recommend? Okay, that's an excellent question. Yes. So now what we are going to do, right? So as I mentioned you in this particular course, the course has been designed in such a manner that you get hands-on experience. First of all, you're going to learn about the cybersecurity basics, network basics, and you are going to get the hands-on experience on tools. That makes you industry ready. That means you are eligible to go and get the interview. Okay. Now, with respect to certification, we will be guiding you to a certification called as ISC Squared Certified in Cybersecurity. Okay. So now whatever the topics that we are discussing, right? So we will be helping you to go and take this particular exam called as Certified in Cybersecurity. Okay. And the exam, you can take this exam for free. Okay, so we'll be guiding you how you can able to avail this, and once you pass the respective certification, In order to get the certificate, you need to pay maintenance fee for this particular organization called as ISC square. For example, assume that you could have passed your BTech or your degree, right? In order to get the degree certificate, you need to pay exam fee, etc., etc., right? The same manner, taking the exam is for free, okay? But you need to get the credentials. In order to get the certificate or the credentials, you need to pay annual maintenance fee. That is self-explanatory. You can able to get here. And also on top of certified in cybersecurity, it would be good if you can have certifications like a certified ethical hacking. Okay, maybe you can get into Naukri, or you can look up on the, so as I said you earlier, CEH. Okay, that answers your question, right? Thank you, Santosh. Motish, I'm good today. Maybe I'm good for people for any questions.
Yeah. Sure. Sure,
So any
Sai.
questions from your end, anyone? So could see totally, we have. So anyone, do you have any questions? Please do let us know.
Or else we can wind up.
Mhm. Sure. Yes, Mr. Santosh. Motish will help you over the detailed, project, the roadmap of this particular cybersecurity codes will be shared to you. Okay. See, remember one thing, as you said, yes, this is purely customized as per the industry needs, because assume that if I'll be talking Greek and Latin in this particular course, yes, that may fascinate you. Okay, that may keep you interested. But on the day when you are going to search for a job, I'm not sure whether it would be useful for you or not, right? So that's the reason, as per the industry requirements, we have customized this particular course in such a manner that you can, go sell up yourself in the market to get a job. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. We can wind up the class today then.
One minute. One question it seems.
Yeah.
So
Security
Security
Plus.
Plus is from Comshia. So not sure whether you are looking. Okay, basic cyber security certificates. So Security Plus is one of the basic certificate, Santosh. Okay, so maybe you can put a Google and check it out. So it's one of the entry level certification. The same thing, like gathering the certification may not attract you the job. So this particular course has been customized in such a manner to enhance your skill. Okay, as mentioned by UpShik Academy. Okay, thank you. If there are no questions, we can wind up, Motish.
Yeah, sure, Sai.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Tim. We can connect on tomorrow. Please. I'll share the recording video by tomorrow morning onwards. And link also. Thank you.